Hi, Dave Ball from the Atlanta Reef Club. My Reef Club name is dball711. Wanted to give you a quick overview of all-in-one tanks that I've been making. This is a 60-gallon all-in-one frag tank, and this is my 80-gallon all-in-one display tank. I've been making and manufacturing all-in-one tanks since the mid to late 80s. I originally designed this to be a wet-dry filter. But let's talk about what I have set up here and how it works on this tank. The first chamber is one that has a constant water level. It's where I have my oversized skimmer. Second chamber is really where all the action happens. There's a little bit of an overflow, and that's where I keep bags of matrix for my filter media. I used to also have a fuge light and run different macroalgae in here to grow, but I've had to take them out because I'm having trouble maintaining nitrate. And then finally, the third chamber, I'm using two Rio 1400 power head pumps to return water to the tank. These pumps put out about 420 gallons of water an hour. They're very inexpensive. Run about 40 bucks each, and they use up about 26 watts, so they don't contribute a lot of heat to the water. The other nice thing is that if one pump goes out, water's still flowing through this filter chamber at 400 gallons an hour. So here's a brief overview. You can see the oversized Toonsy in that first chamber, and it's important to keep, if you're going to put a protein skimmer, keep it in that first chamber because that's where the water level will be constant. Water then spills over, and it's going to be tough to see this, but it spills over to a pre-filter where I have some filter pad in there that's disposable. About once a week or so I throw that out. Water then flows in through the bags of matrix, which is on a piece of egg crate, and then it passes underneath into the final chamber where the two power head pumps pick it up and put it back into the tank. You can see I'm also running a carbon reactor. And what's nice about this setup is that once every 2 months I take those bags of matrix out, rinse them in fresh RO water, and then suck up all the detritus that has collected underneath it. So it's a very easy way to keep my in-tank sump clean. So next thing I wanted to show you was I have a drawing of how the filter chamber is set up. So, as I mentioned, this first chamber is where the water level stays pretty constant. Water comes in through slits in the top of the false wall and midway down, so it's a very diverse induction of water coming into the filtration area. I also keep my heater in here and my heater probe, temperature probe. And then water spills over this divider here, which goes all the way to the bottom. It's important to have surface skimming in a tank like this because the tension it puts on the surface of the water, it pulls stuff off the surface and then spills it over into this pre-filter area. And then the water basically spills out and moves around and moves through the matrix or macroalgae. As water goes through the bottom, it then moves over to where the two pumps are, and then they basically spit water back into the tank. So it's a very simple design, and what's important to note about this design is that it does have this true surface skimming action. I've seen a lot of setups where water is forced through the bottom of this first chamber, and then it comes up and goes through a series of baffles. The problem with that is that if you're trying to do a protein skimmer within this, the water level is going to fluctuate a lot. By having the water level stable like it is in this first chamber, it's a perfect spot to put your protein skimmer. So anyway, that's a quick overview on how I'm doing the all-in-ones. And very simple design, very efficient. And the result is a tank that, I have a ton of, this is an SBS dominant tank, and it's hard to see without a color correction filter because I've got all my blue lights on, but everything's super healthy, very colorful, and doing very well. Anyway, if you have any questions, just leave them below. Thanks.